Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is FallVanish, and welcome to my first ever story. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know. I've always thought it was cool when people did these, so I'm falling into the bandwagon of doing it. Now, you might be hearing me play a game or my keyboard going off in the background, and I know you guys are watching surfing, so my keyboard sounds might not match up with, my surfing. That's because I pre-recorded the surfing. And I'm actually playing Black Ops right now, but I wanted to put surfing in the background because I had some nice surfing clips that I wanted to use. So yeah, and I didn't want to just be sitting here talking because I feel like I can't do that. I'm better at multitasking than I am at just doing one thing and talking and thinking at once. I don't know. So basically, oh yeah, by the way, I think you guys will be watching a surf on a neon-looking one, which is Surf Kitsune. It's called. Or something, I don't know how it's pronounced, but, getting the time that I managed to get, which wasn't even that great. I mean, it was good for me, and I'm a pretty low rank, which is the lower the better, because you want to be, like, get the lowest time. That took me 3 hours to speedrun that map, and I don't know why I couldn't get it, I couldn't. But, alright, so the story that I'm going to be telling today, and, hopefully you guys enjoy it, is, as you can tell by the title, the time I almost got my cousin killed. So, yeah, you heard me right. So, basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and make up a name for my cousin, and, just for, I don't know, I feel like I shouldn't just go ahead and say my entire family name. I don't know, honestly, it probably wouldn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm not really worried about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and make up a name. So, we're gonna call her Peanut, and yes, it is a girl, and we're gonna call her Peanut. So, me, my brother, my mom, or if you grammar Nazis are out there, my brother, my mom, my dad, my uncle, my aunt, my cousins, and I all went up to my cousin's grandparents' house. And this was not my grandparents' house because it was the grandparents of my aunt's side. So they weren't related to us because it was my uncle's wife, obviously. So it was her side, so weren't related to us. But we were going up. We were still friends with them at the time. And, well, yeah, friends with them. Nothing changed. Yeah, so basically we went up to their house in the winter. I'm pretty sure this was during a break, like February vacation. And we went to their house, which is in Vermont, I want to say. It has been a long time since I've been there. That's another thing I want to say. I was about 5, maybe 6 when I went there, and so that was 10 or 11 years ago, or 10 or 9 years ago or so, 9 or 10, and so yeah, I'm not sure exactly, how old I was. I may have even been younger, actually. I think it was 10, because if I'm 15 now, I'm pretty sure I was 5 or 4 at the time, so it was probably 10 or 11, it doesn't matter. I was young, and, we were there, and it was winter, so there was a lot of snow, and, so, basically, now getting down to the story. Me and my cousin and my brother, actually both of my cousins, I'm pretty sure. But Peanut, the girl, I don't know why I chose that name, it just came to my mind. My boy cousin doesn't really matter. My cousin, that's a guy, that doesn't matter, but, because this is about the cousin of mine that is a girl. So, which we are using the name Peanut to cover up. So, Peanut and I, and my brother, were all sledding and down a hill that led into a pond, but the pond, of course, was frozen over. I mean, we weren't, like, our parents were there, we weren't young, and our parents weren't, like, caring or anything. They were there, and, watching us, so we were sledding down this hill, in the back of their house, down, and then into a frozen pond. So basically, but into the pond, I forgot to point this out, into the pond, so the hill would go down, then there would be a drop, like a 1-foot drop, basically, and then you would land on the pond of ice. So, basically, we had been doing this all day. We've been sledding. It's been really fun. We've been enjoying ourselves, and nothing has happened yet. I mean, maybe a little hurt ass because we're landing from a foot drop onto solid ice. I know it's not the greatest idea, but we were having fun. It didn't matter. We didn't think anything was gonna go wrong. So after some time of us sledding, me and my cousin Peanut decided that we were going to hop onto the same sled and go down together. Me in the front, Peanut was in the back. So, we were going down this sled, or going down the hill on the sled. And we were on, pretty sure they were just like those saucer sleds. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a tube, because I'm pretty sure a tube would have saved us from this injury and hurtful times. But it could have been a tube. I forget, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it was a saucer, one of those plastic saucers. Pretty sure it was one of those. Could not have been though. Don't remember. It doesn't really matter. Actually, it sort of does. But okay. So we were going down, and we were laughing, we were cracking up. I still remember it. Actually, that's not true, because I don't remember too much after, and I highly doubt she does either, my cousin. But, I'm not sure, actually, if she does. But, so basically, we were going down, and, we hit the drop part of the, hill onto the ice. And some reason, somehow, both of us came flying off of the sled. I did a literal front flip. Now, if you guys think I'm joking, I am not. I did a full front flip. And I do that stuff like, I do that for fun. Like, I do tricking and stuff. You don't know what that is. It's basically just parkour, but just more flips instead of, like, free running. So I do that. So I know what a front flip is. I'm not exaggerating here. I did a full-out front flip. Landed on my head. Now, I somehow, I don't know, I probably should have been concussed, but I did not get hurt. It hurt. I was sitting up laughing, but I was rubbing my head because it did hurt, don't get me wrong, and I was young, so it probably hurt worse than it would have if it was today. But, so I had hit my head pretty damn hard, and, but I was still, like I said, sitting up and laughing, and I turned around, and my cousin's sitting there, crying. And I was like, are you okay? And I was like, wanted to make sure she was alright, but for some reason she was just not responding. So, it was kind of freaky. She started screaming and crying. Remember, guys, this was like 10 or 11 years ago. She was young. Do not think she was like 16 years old. She was like probably 10 or 9 at the time. So, let's see, how old is she? She's about 18, I want to say now. So, about 4 years. So, yeah, she was probably 10 or 9. I was, like, 4 or 5 at the time. So, because there's a 4-year difference. So, she was 9 or 10. I was either 4 or 5. But, or she could have been 8, actually. Because if I was 4, so she was either 8 or 9, actually. Not 9 or 10. But, so she was young. So, but even if she wasn't young, I don't know if she would have been crying. Or if anyone, I don't know. But she hit her head extremely hard. So, the parents come running down, they're trying to figure out what's wrong. They think that she's just being a little bit over-dramatic, and, not really as hurt as she is, because sometimes kids do that when they get hurt. They just overdo things. I guess they're just, I don't know, they get worked up, more worked up than they should. But she's sitting there, they're asking her what her birthday is. I can't remember if she actually knew what it was. I'm pretty sure she did. That's another reason why they weren't too worried, because she actually knew her birthday. She knew what her name was. They were doing the normal things. But then the ice started breaking on the pond. So my parents, my cousin, were sitting on the pond. I was off to the side by this point, like, looking over. I was scared. I was like, what did I just do? Even though it wasn't really my fault, I promise. Actually, she would probably say it was. But, thinking back on this is kind of funny, just the times. It was not funny at the time. But, so, I was sitting off to the side. She was freaking out, crying. My parents didn't know what to do, and her parents, of course. They didn't know what to do. So, then the ice starts breaking, like I said. So, they pull her off. She's still screaming. They are beginning to realize that this is not funny. This isn't a joke. She's not overdoing it. So, finally, after them crying, or them trying to calm her down and tell her it's okay, they just decide to bring her to the hospital. And, so finally, if they didn't, she probably would not have been alive if they didn't go sooner. Or if they went later. Because, they found out on the way to her hospital, actually. I'm pretty sure that they took an ambulance to the hospital. But, either in the car or in the ambulance, my cousin starts throwing up blood. I wasn't there. This is just what I've been told, and this is what my uncle and aunt have said about it, and my cousin. She was throwing up blood. You're not supposed to do that. That means there's either blood in your brain or there's a cut in your mouth, and you're throwing up, happen to be throwing up. But, so she was throwing up blood, bleeding internally, or not bleeding in her brain, but just bleeding internally, and, so, they managed to get her to the hospital, and she's, like I said, bleeding internally, and luckily she had to get staples, or actually, I don't know if she had to get staples, but they got her there just in time, and that's even what the doctor said. They told her that they got her there just in time, so, something saved her, a miracle, I guess, but she could have been dead, honestly. The circumstances that they were in, she is lucky to be alive, and, although that was not a fun story, I know I've been laughing throughout it, just because I was thinking back on how stupid we were and what we were doing. It's just kind of funny. It's like one of those things where it's in the moment, it's not cool, but after, it's kind of funny. So, if you guys enjoy this, please let me know. I thought it was actually fun. I'm probably going to do more of these if I can think of stories. And, yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment telling me if you enjoyed it or didn't, and drop a like if you did enjoy it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. So, peace!